They think a mother-in-law is just someone who smiles and roasts turkeys. What they don't know is that I've been planning a Christmas this family will never forget. My name is Margaret Sullivan. I'm 56 years old, a widow, and the sole owner of a 3-story Victorian in Seattle's Capitol Hill. The kind with original crown moulding, a chef's kitchen with marble countertops, and enough bedrooms to sleep a small army. My late husband Thomas built his software company from our garage and left me comfortable. More than comfortable. But comfort, I've learned, makes people lazy. It makes them entitled. It makes them think you're stupid. I'm standing in my kitchen on December 20th, watching my daughter-in-law Tiffany through the French doors. She's in my garden, phone angled high, filming herself among the winter roses I've nursed through 3 harsh seasons. Her lips move in that exaggerated way influencers do, probably calling this place rustic or cozy, or whatever word makes a 4,000 square foot home sound achievable to her followers. She posts it 17 minutes later. I know because I get the notification. I follow all my family on social media, though they don't know it. The post says, "Can't wait to host our entire family Christmas at Mom Margaret's beautiful home. 25 of my closest relatives experiencing the Sullivan hospitality. Blessed beyond measure. Ja family first. Ja Christmas magic." My coffee goes cold in my hand. She didn't ask. She announced. I scroll through the comments. Her cousin Jessica. OMG finally getting to see the famous mansion. Her brother Tyler. About time we got the VIP treatment. Her aunt, someone or other. Bring on the feast. Not one of them has met me. Not one of them sent a Christmas card when Thomas died 2 years ago. Not one of them knows that Tiffany married my son David for exactly 8 months before he took a job in Singapore, leaving her here to keep Mom company. As if I'm some lonely widow who needs chaperoning. As if this house is a resort with no checkout date. I set down my coffee and open my laptop. My fingers don't shake. They never do anymore. I learned that from Thomas. He used to say that anger is just energy looking for direction. So I direct mine into the comments section of Tiffany's post. Looking forward to it, dear. The house will be ready for everyone. 3 words that mean absolutely nothing, but they make me look gracious, and graciousness is the best camouflage there is. Then I open a different tab and start making calls. The first call is to Bellingham Bay Resort, 2 hours north. I book their executive suite for 10 days, starting December 23rd. The woman on the phone tells me about their spa services, their ocean views, their Christmas Day champagne brunch. I tell her I'll take it all. The second call is to my property manager, Julian Chen. Julian handled all of Thomas's rental properties, and he's discreet in a way that only people who've seen real money can be. I explain what I need. He's quiet for exactly 4 seconds. "Mrs. Sullivan, are you sure?" I've never been more sure of anything. "I'll have the documents ready by tomorrow." The third call is to Secure View Home Systems. I already have cameras in the common areas. Thomas insisted after a break-in 3 streets over. But now I want audio. I want motion sensors. I want to be able to monitor every room from my phone. The technician says he can have it installed by December 22nd. Perfect. I spend the next 2 days in what Tiffany probably thinks is frantic holiday preparation. I'm in the kitchen constantly, but I'm not cooking. I'm emptying. Every stick of butter, every package of bacon, every frozen casserole I'd made for easy entertaining, I pack it all into coolers and load them into my Volvo. I drive to 3 different food banks and donate everything. The volunteers look at me like I'm St. Margaret of Capitol Hill, if they only knew. I remove the spare keys from their hiding spots, the one under the ceramic turtle by the back door, the one in the fake rock by the garage, the one Tiffany thinks I don't know about that she had cut from my set and keeps in her purse. I disable them all and have the locks rekeyed. The new keys go into my handbag. On December 22nd, the security technician arrives at 7 in the morning. Tiffany is still asleep in the guest house out back, the cottage as she calls it, though it's nicer than most people's main homes. He installs microphones disguised as smoke detectors, motion sensors in the hallways, additional cameras in the kitchen and living room. When he leaves, I test the app on my phone. Crystal clear video, perfect audio. I can even speak through the system if I want, my voice emerging from hidden speakers like the ghost of Christmas karma. I don't plan to use that feature. I just like knowing I could. That afternoon, I visit Julian's office downtown. He has everything prepared in a leather portfolio. A property management agreement, utility rate schedules, a detailed inventory of household items with replacement costs. He's even included photographs. The Murano glass vase in the entryway, $4,000. The Persian rug in the living room, $12,000. The antique dining table that seats 16, $28,000. The legal language is clear, Julian says, sliding his reading glasses down his nose. Any damage to listed items will be deducted from the emergency fund you've designated. In this case, the savings account under Tiffany Sullivan's name. The one David set up for her. The one you've been contributing to as well. I smile. That account has $63,000 in it. Money I've added over the past 2 years, thinking I was helping my daughter-in-law build a future. Thinking she might use it for a down payment on a house of her own, something that would give her independence and dignity. Apparently she's been thinking of it as inheritance she could access early. If there's no damage, the funds remain untouched, Julian continues. But given the number of guests and the duration of stay, I've calculated utility overages at commercial rates. That alone could be substantial. I'm aware. Mrs. Sullivan. He removes his glasses entirely. This is brilliant and terrifying. It's called consequences, Julian. Some people never learn them. I sign everything. He notarizes it. I leave with copies in my handbag and originals in his office safe. December 23rd arrives with frost on the windows and my suitcases by the door. I'm dressed in wool slacks and a cashmere sweater, travel clothes that Tiffany will assume mean I'm visiting David in Singapore for the holidays. She doesn't know he's actually coming home for New Year's instead, specifically to avoid this circus. My son is many things, but stupid isn't one of them. At 8 in the morning, I carry out my final task. I print the notice on heavy cardstock and laminate it myself, then attach it to the front door with double-sided tape that won't damage the finish. The message is simple. Dearest family, I've departed on a 10-day spiritual retreat to pray for our family's continued blessings. The house is yours to enjoy. May you find the peace and self-sufficiency that comes from true gratitude. All my love, Margaret. P.S. The property management company will be in touch regarding house rules. I step back and admire my work. The handwriting is my best cursive, the kind I used for thank you notes and sympathy cards. It looks gracious. It looks generous. It looks like I have no idea what's coming. I load my car and drive to the Bellingham Bay Resort. The route takes me along the coastline, grey water meeting grey sky, seabirds circling above ferry boats. I arrive just after 11 and check into a suite with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Sound. There's a gas fireplace, a soaking tub, a king bed with a down comforter that feels like sleeping on a cloud. I unpack my laptop and 3 bottles of wine. Then I settle in to watch the show. The camera feed shows them arriving at 2:30 that afternoon. 3 cars and 2 SUVs, doors opening like clown cars, people spilling onto my circular driveway with luggage and shopping bags and wrapped presents. I count them through my phone screen. 25, just like Tiffany promised. Ages ranging from early 20s to late 30s, all dressed in expensive casual wear that screams, I deserve this. Tiffany leads them to the front door with her phone out, filming. I turn up the audio. Welcome to Sullivan Manor. She's using her influencer voice, bright and performative. My amazing mother-in-law Margaret is on a spiritual journey, but she's left us her beautiful home for the ultimate family Christmas. She tries the door. Locked. Oh, she must have... Tiffany digs in her purse for her key, slides it into the lock. Nothing happens. She tries again. And again. One of the cousins, Jessica I think, says, "Is there another entrance?" They migrate to the back door. Same result. Tiffany's face on camera is turning pink, that blotchy quality she gets when she's frustrated. She finally notices the laminated note I've taped to the back door as well. She reads it aloud, her voice going quieter with each word. When she finishes, there's silence. 25 people standing on my patio in the December cold, understanding slowly dawning. "So we can get in, right?" This from a young man with an undercut and designer sneakers. Tyler, the brother. "The locks are changed." Tiffany's hands are shaking as she pulls out her phone. She tries calling me. I've turned off my phone, of course, straight to voicemail. Someone says, "Maybe there's a locksmith." "Are you going to pay for that?" Tiffany snaps. The group goes quiet again. I pour myself a glass of Pinot Noir and take a screenshot of their confused faces. It takes them 47 minutes to find the solution. One of the older cousins, Aunt Brenda, built like a linebacker and twice as determined, tries all the first-floor windows until she finds one in the mudroom that I left unlocked. Not because I forgot, because I wanted them to work for it. They climb through one by one, awkward and undignified, expensive coats snagging on the window frame. I'm laughing now, actually laughing, the wine warming my chest. They look like teenagers breaking into their parents' house after curfew. Once inside, the energy shifts. They're in the grand foyer now, the one with the chandelier Thomas and I bought in Venice. Their voices echo off the marble floors, excited and relieved. Tiffany's back in hostess mode, showing people around like she owns the place. "Kitchen's this way. It's amazing. Fully stocked, top-of-the-line everything." They push through the swinging doors into my kitchen. And stop. "Where's the food?" Jessica's voice is small. I watch them open cupboards, pull out drawers, check the pantry. Nothing but basic staples. Flour, sugar, salt, pepper, a few cans of soup. The refrigerator is completely empty except for condiments and a carton of baking soda. "She said the house was ready," someone mutters. Tiffany's face is scarlet now. She must have meant ready as in clean, available, not with food, not with anything. A younger woman opens the freezer. There's ice. Great. Ice for Christmas dinner. The group splinters. Some go upstairs to claim bedrooms. That's when they discover that the master suite is locked, as are 3 of the 4 guest rooms. I removed the doorknobs entirely and replaced them with keyed locks. The only available spaces are the living room, the den, and one small guest room with a single twin bed. For 25 people. The audio picks up arguments breaking out on different floors. Someone's claiming the couch. Someone else is insisting on the twin bed because of their back problems. Tyler yells something about setting up air mattresses in the den, but nobody brought air mattresses because they all assumed there'd be real beds. Tiffany tries calling me again. And again. I silence my phone and refill my wine glass. By 5 o'clock, they've given up on Christmas dinner preparations and ordered pizza. I watch them pool cash in the living room, arguing over toppings and how many pies they need. The delivery takes an hour because it's the day before Christmas Eve and everywhere is slammed. When it finally arrives, they eat standing up because someone says they shouldn't sit on the antique furniture without Margaret's permission. At least they have some sense. Night falls. The house grows crowded and warm with 25 bodies generating heat. People start claiming floor space with sleeping bags and coats. The single bathroom on the first floor has a line. Someone discovers the powder room off the kitchen, but there's a fight over who gets to use it. Tiffany's trying to maintain control, but her voice is getting shrill. "Everyone just needs to be patient. We're family. Family that you dragged here without asking." That's Jessica. I like her immediately. "I thought Margaret said yes." "You announced it on Facebook, Tiff. That's not asking, that's declaring." I screenshot that too. Around midnight, the house finally goes quiet. Bodies sprawled everywhere, people in sleeping bags on hardwood floors, someone snoring on the couch. Tiffany's alone in the kitchen, sitting at my counter with her head in her hands. The camera picks up the sound of her crying, soft, frustrated sobs that make her shoulders shake. I feel nothing. Or maybe I feel something like satisfaction, like watching a plant you've watered finally bloom. She wanted to play house in my home without permission, without respect, without understanding that generosity is a gift, not a right. Now she's learning. I close the laptop and run myself a bath. The hotel has lavender bath salts and those little soaps shaped like shells. I sink into water hot enough to pink my skin and drink wine until the bottle's empty and my fingers are pruned. I sleep for 10 hours straight. Christmas Eve morning, I wake to 17 missed calls and 34 text messages. I ignore them all and order room service. Eggs Benedict, fresh fruit, mimosas. I eat on my private balcony wrapped in the hotel robe, watching fishing boats navigate the Sound. When I finally check the camera feed, chaos has multiplied overnight. Someone broke the Murano vase. It's shattered in the entryway, blue and gold glass scattered across the marble. Julian's inventory listed it at $4,000. I make a note. The kitchen is a disaster. Dishes piled in the sink, coffee grounds spilled on the counter, someone's burnt something in my Le Creuset Dutch oven. The smell carries through even the audio feed. Upstairs, people are trying to shower, but the hot water heater can't keep up with demand. An argument erupts over who used all the hot water. Tyler screams that he hasn't showered in 2 days and smells like a gym bag. Someone tells him that's his natural state. By noon, a new problem emerges: the heat. With 25 bodies in a house designed for 4, the temperature climbs. People are opening windows, but it's 38 degrees outside. Every time they do, someone else yells about the heating bill. It's not our house. Then whose bill is it? No one has an answer. At 2 in the afternoon, a sedan pulls into my driveway. Julian Chen emerges in a black overcoat carrying his leather portfolio. I turn the audio up as loud as it goes. He rings the doorbell. Tiffany answers, looking haggard. Her hair is unwashed, her mascara smudged. She's wearing the same clothes as yesterday. Tiffany Sullivan? Yes? I'm Julian Chen, property manager for Margaret Sullivan. I have documents that require your signature. Her face goes pale. Documents. He opens the portfolio. Mrs. Sullivan filed a temporary property management agreement before her departure, designating this residence as a short-term occupancy situation. As per Seattle Municipal Code, any occupancy exceeding 7 days requires formal rental agreement. However, since your stay is under 10 days, we can proceed with a simplified damage deposit and utility overage calculation. Every word is legal and binding and completely over Tiffany's head. I can see her trying to process, her mouth opening and closing. I don't understand. Simply put, Miss Sullivan, you are responsible for any damages to the property and any utility usage exceeding normal residential rates, given the number of occupants, electricity, water, and gas usage will be calculated at commercial hospitality rates. How much? Current estimates based on consumption over the past 36 hours, approximately $1,800. That will increase daily. Additionally, one item from the household inventory has been damaged. He shows her a photo of the vase. Replacement cost, $4,000. Tiffany sits down on my porch steps. Just sits, like her legs gave out. I don't have $6,000. The agreement stipulates that costs will be deducted from your designated emergency savings account. Mrs. Sullivan thoughtfully provided access to those funds for exactly this purpose. She looks up at him. My savings? Your emergency fund. Current balance, $63,217. I watch understanding break across her face like a wave. The money she thought was hers, accumulating interest, waiting for whenever she decided to use it. It was never unconditional. It was always mine to control. Because I'm the one who contributed to it, month after month, thinking I was building my daughter-in-law's future. Turns out I was building her accountability. Julian hands her the documents. You'll need to sign acknowledging receipt of terms. Failure to do so will result in formal eviction proceedings, which I'm sure no one wants during the holidays. She signs. Her hand shakes so badly the signature barely looks like letters. When Julian leaves, Tiffany sits on those steps for 20 minutes. just sits, staring at nothing. Eventually, Jessica comes out and sits beside her. What was that about? We have to pay for everything. The utilities, the broken vase, any damage. How much? 6,000 so far, and it goes up every day we're here. Jessica's quiet for a long moment then. Tiff, you need to tell everyone. They'll kill me. They'll find out anyway. And when they do, it'll be worse. The announcement happens at 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Tiffany gathers everyone in the living room, standing in front of the fireplace like she's about to give a TED talk. 25 people crammed into space meant for dinner parties, sitting on floors and chair arms and window seats. She explains, stumbles through it really, her voice cracking in all the wrong places. The property management company, the utility costs, the broken vase, the savings account that was supposed to be hers but apparently isn't. Silence. The kind that makes the air feel thick. Then Tyler explodes. You're telling me we're paying to be here? It's not like I knew. You posted about it on Facebook, Tiff. You made it sound like we were invited. I thought we were. By you, not by Margaret. Jessica stands up. How much has it cost so far? 6,000. Maybe more by tomorrow. Someone in the back whistles low. Another person says, Jesus Christ. Aunt Brenda, the linebacker, crosses her arms. So what are we supposed to do? Tiffany, we're here for Christmas. We can't just leave. Why not? This from a younger cousin I don't recognize. This whole thing is a disaster. No food, no beds, no host. And now we're paying for the privilege. She's teaching us a lesson. Tiffany's voice goes shrill. Don't you see? She's punishing us. No. Jessica's voice cuts through the noise. She's punishing you because you used her home without asking. You paraded us around like trophies, and you never once stopped to think that maybe a widow living alone might have plans of her own. The room goes silent. Jessica continues. I've been watching everyone here. Half of us didn't even bring hostess gifts. We showed up expecting a feast, expecting entertainment, expecting Margaret to play grandmother to a bunch of strangers. And when she wasn't here, we broke into her home through a window. She left it unlocked. She left us a way and that required effort. That's different. I pause the feed and pour another glass of wine. This Jessica is saying everything I would say if I were there. Everything I wanted them to realize on their own. The argument continues for another hour. People split into factions, those who want to leave immediately, those who think they should stay and make the best of it, and a small group who want to order Chinese food and pretend this is all funny. By 7 o'clock, 10 people have left. 2 carloads packed up and gone, waving awkward goodbyes to Tiffany like they're escaping a sinking ship. The remaining 15 order takeout and eat quietly, the festive energy completely drained. That night, I allow myself a small indulgence. I use the intercom system for the first time. My voice flows through the hidden speakers like smoke. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your stay. On camera, people jump. Look around wildly. Tiffany goes white. The house has been watching you, learning your patterns, calculating your impact. Every light left on. Every degree of heat. Every dish left unwashed. It's all been recorded. Margaret? Tiffany's voice is tiny. Where are you? Somewhere peaceful. Somewhere I don't have to pretend that being generous means being invisible. I disconnect. Let them sit with that. I return on Christmas night at exactly 11 o'clock. My Volvo pulls into the driveway, and I see the curtains twitch in the living room. By the time I reach the front door, Tiffany's there, opening it. She looks exhausted, hair limp, eyes red, wearing sweatpants and one of David's old college sweatshirts. Margaret. Hello, dear. I step past her into my own home, wheeling my suitcase. The house smells like takeout containers and too many people. The living room is a disaster of sleeping bags and discarded clothes. But it's quieter than I expected. Only 15 people instead of 25. I set my suitcase by the stairs and turn to face the remaining group. They're clustered in the living room, standing or sitting, looking at me like I'm a judge about to hand down a sentence. I trust everyone had a meaningful Christmas. No one answers. I move through the house slowly, inspecting. The kitchen is clean, someone clearly spent hours scrubbing. The Murano vase is gone, swept up. A note on the entryway table that says, "We're so sorry," in Jessica's handwriting. The floors are mopped, the bathrooms are spotless. When I return to the living room, I'm carrying Julian's inventory report. I flip through pages slowly, letting them hear the paper rustle. Total damages: $4,200 for the vase. Utility overages, $3,100. Administrative fees for emergency property management, $800. Grand total of $8,100, which has been withdrawn from the designated account. Tiffany makes a sound like air escaping a tire. However, I close the portfolio. I'm not unreasonable. The intensive cleaning I see here must have taken considerable effort. I'm reducing the total by $1,000 as compensation for maid services rendered. Jessica starts to laugh. It's not mean laughter. It's the laugh of someone who sees the absurdity and appreciates it. A few others join in, tentative at first, then genuine. $7,100, I continue. Consider it the cost of learning that someone else's hospitality is not an entitlement. It's a gift that must be asked for, accepted with grace, and repaid with respect. I look at Tiffany specifically. You wanted to host Christmas in a beautiful home. You got your wish. But hosting means bearing the responsibility, the cost, and the consequences of your choices, not just performing generosity on social media. She's crying now, quietly, tears running down her face. I'm sorry. I know you are. The question is whether you're sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught. She doesn't answer. I don't need her to. I walk to the staircase and turn back one last time. Those who wish to stay for the remainder of the holidays are welcome, as my invited guests. Those who prefer to leave may do so with my blessing. But from this moment forward, this home operates on respect, not assumption. I climb the stairs to my bedroom, newly rekeyed, wonderfully private, and close the door behind me. Through the wood, I hear the low murmur of voices, some arguing, some laughing, some apologizing. I hear suitcases zipping, cars starting, goodbyes being exchanged. By morning, only Jessica remains. She knocks on my door at 8, holding 2 cups of coffee. I made this with the beans in the freezer. Hope that's okay. It's perfect. We sit in my kitchen, mine again, clean and quiet, and she tells me she's a paralegal in Portland, that she tried to tell Tiffany not to post without asking, that she's been uncomfortable since they arrived. You knew, I say. You knew this wasn't right. I knew. But family pressure is... She trails off. Powerful, I understand. We drink coffee in comfortable silence. Eventually she says, "What you did was brilliant and terrifying." Someone else told me that recently. I'm taking it as a compliment. She laughs. It is one. You taught an entire family that actions have consequences. Most people never learn that lesson. Most people never have their savings account attached to their bad behavior. Jessica leaves that afternoon with a promise to visit again. Properly invited this time. Tiffany moves out of the cottage the following week, taking a studio apartment in Ballard that she can actually afford. David comes home for New Year's, and we talk, really talk, about boundaries and expectations and what family actually means. The house is mine again. Quiet, clean, exactly as I like it. On New Year's Day, I'm in my kitchen making coffee when my phone buzzes. A notification from Facebook. Tiffany has posted. Lesson learned. Real hospitality requires mutual respect. Grateful for hard truths and second chances. Growth mindset. Family first. Humility wins. I almost laugh. The hashtags are still ridiculous, but the sentiment is real. Progress, I suppose, comes in small steps. I comment. Proud of you, dear? 3 words that mean something this time. I close my phone and look around my kitchen. My marble counters, my copper pots hanging from their rack, my window overlooking the winter garden. Everything is exactly where it should be. Everything is mine. Outside, it starts to snow. Fat flakes drifting past the window, covering the ground in white. I stand there for a long time, coffee warming my hands, watching winter settle over Seattle like forgiveness. The house is quiet. Finally, perfectly quiet.